Okay, now we are going to start the C programming class 5. Okay, so today we are going to see about nested if else condition. So for that I am going to create a file 004.c. So I'm going to in this file I'm going to write a C program which is going to explain the nested if condition. So same as I am writing the skeleton code. After writing the skeleton code successfully, I think now for you guys is visible. I think this is okay for you. So based on this example, I am going to explain the nested if condition. So the example is write a program to check which number is smaller than and among these three numbers. So for that I am going to declare three integer data type variable names, num1, num2, num3. So I am successfully declared three integer data type variables. Next I am going to instruct the user to enter three numbers. After successfully write this message, first I need to get the value from the user and store it. So with the help of the format specifier %d, need integer data type value. First, with the help of the ampersand, I am going to instruct the system where in which variable they need to store this value. So for the first value, it need to store in num1. For second, it need to store in num2. For third, it need to store in num3. So after giving instruction like this, next I am going to give a condition. Normally, in class 4 we see which is greater than number. There we use more operators, right? And operators. We use and operators. But without the help of the and operator, we can able to do this with the help of this nested if condition. So if first I am declaring one condition, if num1 is less than or less than num2, if it is true means then I am declaring another if else condition. In that, okay, first condition is checked. The problem is this operators, right? This operators only can able to handle only 2 operand, not 3 operands, right? So we can able to only 2 operands. So num1 and num2 successfully compared, which is smaller. Now we can, what are the number here which is smaller, num1 or num2? Num1 is smaller, right? So next we need to compare this num1 to the num3. So for that for the purpose I am going to create another if else condition inside this function. So which is num1 is smaller than num3, open curly braces. If the condition returns true means it needs to execute this statement. What statement it needs to execute? It needs to print num1 is greater, smallest. Okay. Instead, suppose if it is returns false, what will happen? So printf open double quotation num3 is smallest. Num3 is smallest. So why I am telling is num3 is smallest, because the first condition itself we compared with num2, right? So num2, suppose num2 is greater means num1 is smaller, and if so here it concluded num1 is smaller than num2. Okay, again if we compare with num3 means what will happen? Suppose if num3 is again smaller than num2, so it's num1, so num3 is smaller, because even if it is num1 is smaller, right, num3 is even smaller than num1. So for the purpose, so we don't need to compare with num2. So that's why if the condition returns false means num3 is smaller. Okay, suppose if num2 is smaller than num1 here, what will happen? The condition will be false. So if it's false means this else condition going to execute. Sorry, not printf. Inside I am going to, because it only compares to the num1. Suppose if it is smaller than or greater than num3 means we need to check with num3 also, right? We need to compare with. So for the purpose only I am creating another if else condition inside the else. So num1 is smaller than num3. Printf, num2. So if the condition returns true means num2 is smallest. Num2 is smallest. Else if the condition returns if the condition returns 0, what it needs to print? It will going to print as num3 is smallest. So as same as how I explained in the previous nested if condition, right? As same as here also same condition. Num3 is smallest. Finally return zero. Okay. Now I'm going to run this file. Compile this file. Okay, it's compiled without any errors. Going to enter 3 numbers. Num1 is smallest number. So this is how nested if condition will work. Next, I am going to explain another example. to this example is going to explain about what is pre-increment and what is pre-increment, what is post-increment. So for this to explain what is pre-increment and what is pro-increment, I am going to create another file which names 005.c. So in Explorer I am opening the file and I am going to write a code hashtag include less than stdio dot h int main open bracket close bracket open curly braces. So inside I am going to declare a variable I'm going to create a 2 integer type variable which is int num1 comma, and at the same time I am going to initialize some value and I am going to give the value as 12. Next I am going to create another and going to declare another variable as same as I am going to initialize the variable with the value of 12. After initializing completely, again I am going to create two variable names which is return1 comma return2 to explain the pre-increment and post-increment more clearly. So here what I am going to write initialize a value for ret1 variable for this variable. So a plus plus giving an variable name, right? So this plus plus is representing pre-increment. If double plus plus is assigned before the variable name, it is known as pre-increment. So how pre-increment is nothing but it's going to increase one value of the variable values. Pre-increment. So how this pre-increment works here means how this pre-increment works here is right. So it's going to increase the value of the variable value by 1 at the same time, at the same variable call itself. What is variable call? Here we are mentioning the variable name right in this program. This is known as variable call. At the same time itself it will going to increase one value. So it will increase 1 at this first variable call itself. Next I am going to use the second variable ret2. Here num2 and then after I am assigning the plus plus. So this is called as post increment. How this post increment will work here means it will going to increment, it will add one value as same as pre-increment, but not at the first call itself. It will add the one in the next call. Right, I am writing a comment for this. It will add one at the second variable call. Okay, now I'm going to print the values. Print open bracket num1 is equal to percentage num1 is equal to percentage d space num2 is equal to percentage d slash n comma going to give variable name num1 comma num2. So here again I am writing num1 and num2. This is known as second variable call. So in the second variable call only it will going to add the one number. It's going to increase one number from here only. To prove, wait, I am going to write another variable name ret1 is equal to percentage d ret2 is equal to percentage d slash n comma ret1 comma ret2. Okay, return 0, return space 0. Now I'm completing this statement. Now I'm going to run this program to understand. It helps you guys to understand it. So for this I'm going to compile this file. An error. Sorry, here we need to complete our statement. You guys also need to careful regard this gcc file.c. Now it compiled without any errors. a.out. Look, just see here 12, right? It's incremented at the first call itself. Okay, not in second call, at the first call. Okay, at the first call itself it added one number. Now at the second call only it added this 13. And here look, 13 here at the first call. This is first call, right? So at the same time it increases one value of the variable value. Look, this is first call, right? In post increment now no values is added. In the second call only it adds the number. So this is how for you guys understand. I'm going to make some changes here for your understand purpose only. Instead I put plus pre-increment post increment. I'm going to remove this two variable name and write in num1 comma num2 gcc 005.c a.out. Look, now this will helps you to more understand the program. 12 at the same time first call itself added. This is also first call, but it assigned it prints only 12. Now it's if I return the value in second call 13, at the first call itself 13 and the second call itself 13. But if you see in pre-increment, but if you see in post increment, first call no values is added, no one is not added in the first call. 1 is added after the second call only. Likewise, for pre-decrement also same. Minus. Going to work like this. At the same time, first call itself, variable first call itself level. So at the same time, it's decreases by 1. And second call also decreases. So this explains the pre-decrement. This explains the post-decrement. First call, it just prints the same value. In second call only, it performs the decrement operation. So this is how pre-decrement and pre-increment works. Okay. Next, we are going to deep down on talk about else condition. How else condition? So for this purpose, again I am going to create a new file for your explanation purpose, and I am opening this created file. So here I am going to write the skeleton code. And the start itself I am going to use a if condition. Wait. Later I will add it. Write in a statement print double quotation hello /n next line, because I need to print in the next line, and I am writing the else statement, and here I am going to print I /n return so we guys at as far from now we mostly use some condition here, right? For some in this condition box. What else? If I don't use any operators, don't use any condition, and instead of if I assign some numbers like 8, what will happen? Does output will come or not? Let's see. For this purpose, I'm going to run a program. Going to run this program gcc 0.c a.out. It's printed, and it's also printed. You can ask, sir, it's 8, it's not a condition, it's not a operator, there's nothing. But how this condition, if right, if it's true, it will execute the statement which is below the if. But how it become true? That's the thing here. Any at the first itself, what I told in if condition, not it only knows if 1 or any integer. It could be -8, -1. Look, if it is -8, same. -8, -100, -100, any number will you write means it will consider as a true. But instead, if you put 0, what will happen? Look. Again, I am going to compile in this file. It returns, it executes else, because it only knows if 0 appears, the condition is false. If but other than 0, if it is any number, or you can take this letters also. Let us not. Okay. That's why if you put instead of any other than 0 any integers, it will going to consider as a true. So this kind of questions will ask in quizzes. Understand? Okay, let's see some more conditions. I'm going to remove this brackets. As for now we use these brackets. Now tell me, this code will execute or not? Just tell me. I say it will execute. Look, I will compile this. No errors come. It will execute. So if it is one statement means no problem, no curly braces required. If it is also false also means no problem. Look, no errors come, and else condition is executed. And also I forgot to tell this thing. If you write true, T-R-U-E, true, T-R-U-E, true, it's going to execute the no errors allow. If it is false, we can write like this also. False. No errors come. I. Okay, this is how it works. So if it is one statement means no curly braces also. Okay, no problem. But if you add another statement, an error occurs. What error it says? Else without previous if. So for if you are using more than one statement, we request curly braces. If you don't use more than one statement, no problem. Without brackets also it will execute. So there is a saying also, if can run without else, but else cannot run without if. So the compiler considers there is no if. So now tell, is this run or not? So it takes only one statement. If it is if I write, so this is a separate statement. If I write true means what will print? Hello and good will print. So this is how if else condition works. Instead, if I use for this purpose, I am again creating these things. For this look, I'm going to use AND operator. Writing some number here, writing some number. So what will happen? Look, both the condition are integers, so it came as true. Instead, if I return 0, what will happen? It will execute. Why? Because of, right, in digital the AND operation, AND table is 1 1 means 1, 0 1 means 0, 1 0 means 0, 0 0 means 0. So here any digit 0, so it takes us false. But instead, look, 5 6 0. what will happen? I, because if it takes only, it considers only this thing, not this thing. This is known as short circuit. If it finds this is false, means it will not check this 56. Because it is for, due to this shortcut condition only. Instead, if we use OR function, what will happen? Just see. Hello. But instead, if you put 0 and 1, hello, so it checks only this true. So this is also known as short circuit. It doesn't consider this 0 value. So like these questions only will come for choose. Okay, today class is completed, and then thank you. We can discuss this later. Okay, thank you. Bye.